It's me, Vicki Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm in mainland Spain. It is now 10:34 a.m. Happy Monday. It's start of the week again. And first of all, as the banner says, I just want to say my usual thank yous. Thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you for liking videos or subscribing. If you're not already subscribed, please consider it. It's completely free. Remember to leave that DNA, that fingerprint on the like button. And also that special thank you to all my members and to anyone who supports my channel in any way, especially those of you who go that extra mile, buy me a super sticker, buy me a coffee, send PayPal, etc. Write me an email, leave a nice message. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get rid of the banners now. Now, I just want to say I'll be on another live at 12 Spanish time in approximately an hour and a half's time. So you're going to be sick of me today. But so what I'm going to be doing, luckily today, I haven't got many classes this morning. All my classes are in the afternoon. For those of you who don't know, I'm a Spanish teacher and I normally have to fit my channel around, the Spanish classes that I teach. And this morning, because it will go quiet now, the classes for the summer period, because people like to have a break until September, or they can't think straight because it's hot if they're in Spain, and if they're in the UK, maybe they're going off on holiday somewhere. So, it does give me a little bit more time to do videos. Now, of course, lately it's all been about Jay Slater, the 19-year-old that's missing in Tenerife. And I'm trying to move away a little bit. Not that I want to leave that case behind, but, there's so much speculation and lots of rumours going around. And, I don't like to deal with rumours. So there's no, sometimes I get a bit sort of disillusioned with all that, because it's one day you did this, then the timeline's that, then this, that, the other. And, until we get off official confirmation of anything, or maybe until Jay's body is found and we have things a bit more clear. But anyway, any developments, of course, I will be sharing them with you. I'm still checking every couple of hours, see if there's any news. I pray for him and his family every day that they get some resolution. So how awful it must be, not only for your son to be missing in a foreign country, and the police have now stopped searching for him, but you've got to deal with all the hate and horrible things that are online. People releasing videos supposedly being Jay's mum dancing in Tenerife, when obviously the video is from ages ago. This is the sort of people, that are out there in the internet. We know we get them in here occasionally, but we soon get rid of them. I can't, deal with all that. As far as I'm concerned, whatever Jay's past is, whatever the circumstances are, is a 19-year-old boy that's missing. I believe he genuinely is missing. His parents are frantic. And not only that, they're having to cope with all the hate that they're getting from people who don't know anything about it. So, we won't go into that. So later though, I thought, well, it's been quite a long time since I said anything about the Sebastian Rogers case. Sebastian was a 15-year-old autistic boy that's been missing since February now. Now, of course, that case descended into the same thing, but a lot of hate was being circulated by his own father, Seth, against the mother, because they're estranged, and then all these, again, lots and lots of rumours. And nobody really knows what's happened to Sebastian. He's still missing. The police are apparently still on the case. I'm sure they are. But we don't know anything definite, do we? So what I am going to look at later is, because of course Seth has started it, he's got his own YouTube channel now, which personally I think is a much better idea than going on everybody's YouTubes like he was, and slagging off Katie, etc. Maybe this is Tony Mathis's doing, and maybe he has done something positive for once, Tony Mathis, because he's the PR guy, brought in, he's caused more problems than anything. That's what we're going to look at later. So it's been a long time since I've done a video about Sebastian Rogers, again, because it got to that point where it's just crazy. It's just people slagging each other off, the YouTube channels, all like ridiculous, really, in my opinion. So, but we're going to go back and look at a few cases over the next few days that have sort of took a step back, if you like, or been sidelined as far as I'm concerned, because it's all been about Jay, isn't it? You know, there's been news about Jay or some sort of development every day. And then, of course, it's important to take on new cases and talk about new news that's happening. You know, I've got very many subscribers in Australia as a result of the Samantha Murphy case. And, you know, I feel like I haven't neglected the Samantha Murphy case. There's just been nothing to say, to be honest. Every day I still check for news about Samantha, and there just is nothing at the moment. But, you know, of course, other things happen, and sort of something that has happened over the past couple of days that I think is relevant to Samantha's case, because it looks like it's another case, probably, allegedly, we don't know all the details yet, but of gender violence, maybe domestic violence. This one, of course, Samantha's was not domestic violence, but it was gender violence. And this is another case now in near Melbourne, you know, and so we're going to look at that. Now, the woman hasn't been identified yet, or not officially. So I think we'll be following it to find out who this woman is, what has happened to her. Obviously, somebody's put her in the rubbish bin, which isn't the first time that's happened lately in Australia, is it? And, you know, what is it? Do people get these ideas maybe from watching things like that on the news? So we're going to talk about it. But first of all, I'm going to say hello to you all. Let's have a look who's here. Hi, David. Hi, Popeye. And, well, Popeye's from Melbourne or near Melbourne. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Fragaria. Oh, hi, Yvonne. So it's raining in Melbourne. Oh, I wish it was raining here. It's actually a little bit cooler today, maybe, than yesterday. It's hard to tell, but it's already it's at least 28 degrees, and it's only 10:41 in the morning. Hi, Maria. 6:35 p.m. in Australia. Yeah. Yeah, it's so freaky, isn't it, to think of all these different time zones? But it's good. It's nice that we have people from all over the world. It's interesting. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Jumba. Yeah, that was it, Popeye. The other case, it was an Indian lady. Yeah, she was put in the rubbish bin, wasn't she, by her husband, and he fled. Didn't he flee back to his own country? But I think they've caught him now, I think. Crikey, 8 degrees. I wish it was 8 degrees here. Yvonne, wherever Yvonne is, she's got a beautifully bright blue sky. Okay, let's have a look at this case. So there's not a lot to say at the moment because it's just a breaking case. I said, I don't think we know officially the name of the lady or what her domestic circumstances were. But let's have a look, first of all, at a news item about it. What have we done with it? Oh, actually, let's have a look first of all. This is where it's happened. So it's Coolaroo. Again, a place I've never heard of. Melbourne is here, of course. And Coolaroo is, where's Coolaroo? Because I found it earlier and now I can't find it. Where's Coolaroo? There it is. There it is. So Coolaroo is up here. This is where it's happened. It's near Dallas. I didn't even know there was a Dallas in Australia. I've learnt so much about Australian geography because geography is not my strong point, whether it be Australia, Britain, Spain. I'm not brilliant at geography. In fact, I'm rubbish. So I'm learning a lot. So Coolaroo is there. And Melbourne is here. So it's a little distance out from Melbourne. And this is where this poor woman has been found. And also, not only the poor lady, you know, imagine the people that found it. You know, it's awful, isn't it, to find a body? I just can't imagine. You know, quite often when I'm walking my dogs, I think, God, I hope I don't find a body, because I've read so obviously being interested in true crime, I've seen so many instances where dog walkers have found bodies. So it's a bit terrifying, isn't it? So let's have a look at this news report. Oh, sorry, I've got to share it. Remember to share it, Vicky. You know how good I am at
His body has been found dumped in a rubbish tip in Melbourne's north. Today, police swarmed a Coolaroo street where they believe she had been placed in a curbside green waste bin.
Trash turned critical clues. The bins of a Coolaroo home searched and sorted after a woman's body was found here at this Epping tip on Wednesday. Police believe it got there after being placed in a domestic.
So let's just go back a little bit again. So yeah, how awful. So that's the workers that have found it, but luckily that they found it, because I think a lot of this is what unfortunately a lot of murderers do, don't they? Especially, I mean, he's or whoever did it, I shouldn't say he, but it looks like it is. They've dumped a whole body, of course. Some people, dismember bodies, don't they, and hide them in different rubbish places. I mean, it's just horrible to think. Listen, being murdered is bad enough, but when you just discard someone like rubbish, you know, I hope that they do get extra time in prison for that, because it's just so foul. You know, even if they had the decency to bury them somewhere, it's better than this. It's just so contemptuous, such a foul thing to do, isn't it?
Sorted after a woman's body was found here at this Epping tip on Wednesday. Police believe it got there after being placed in a domestic bin. They understand that bin was picked up outside a Coolaroo property on Tuesday. Tip workers made the grim discovery the next day while sorting through green waste. The investigation ramping up today as detectives combed Coolaroo.
I mean, thank goodness, you know, that they did find her, because otherwise whoever did it, you know, they could have got away with it. You know, so sorting through for green waste, I mean, it's not a nice job at the best of times. Sorting through rubbish is not a nice job, is it? And then the thought that you might come across a body, I mean, they must be in trauma, those workers. I mean, it would just haunt you that forever, wouldn't it, for the rest of your life? What an awful thing to have to go through, you know. Just awful. So of course, you know, in the UK you'd be mad if you dumped a body in a bin, because they never get picked up in the UK, do they? Because I don't know how often the bins get taken away in Australia. I bet it's quite often, is it? Because it is in Spain, maybe in hot countries. That's why I think I've told you before, our bins, we have like a communal bin at the end of the road, like it's like a skip, really, almost. Not a skip, but, you know, a big bin, not small, not lots of small bins. There's one big bin for the whole street, and it gets taken every morning about 5, 6 in the morning, because it wakes you up every morning, the bin men coming. Every day in, day out, you know. I know that's not the case in the UK. So, if you put a body in a bin in the UK, it's likely to be there for quite a long time, isn't it? So maybe someone who's from Australia will let me know how often they take them in Australia. I don't know.
Coolaroo. Neighbours racking their brains for information that might help.
So go outside, taking the bins out, you know. Sometimes I'll just go outside, walk outside early at night.
Detectives drawn to another house down the street, getting in with the help of a locksmith. Next door to that house, forensics took clippings from a tree.
They asked if we saw anything unusual happened in the street, any noise, any movement. No, we didn't saw anything strange, no.
But the main focus was the house where the bins were searched. Bath towels from the laundry among items taken from inside.
So it seems apparently this person has only just moved into this area, or only a couple of weeks before. They're not only searching their house, but another house up the street. So is this a neighbour that's been involved in this?
I don't understand what happened.
Police are investigating what went on here in Coolaroo as far back as June 23rd, more than a week before the bin was picked up.
So June the 23rd they're investigating from, a week before the bin was picked up. So maybe there was some domestic disturbance, or maybe it's not domestic, maybe it was a neighbour. You know, we don't know all the details yet, but I will be following this case, because these sort of cases, you know, just awful what they've done, whoever it is, to this woman. And we want to know what's happened, and we want to know that this person is going to face justice.
Detectives are waiting on a post-mortem examination to formally identify the woman. Neighbours say this is a quiet, friendly street. But when it comes to this house, they have conflicting information.
They moved from the house and the house is empty. Nobody's lived there.
But the new people, they just moved in like literally a month ago.
So that first guy said nobody was living there. And then the second guy, the young lad, said the new people had just moved in a month ago. So, yeah, a bit of conflicting information, as there always is at the beginning. You know, sometimes, some cases, there's still conflicting information months later. But, you know, things will come out bit by bit. We know the Australian police aren't dead communicative, are they? But I expect, you know, when the woman's been identified, surely they will do a press conference. We might see the same police that we've seen dealing with other cases that we've looked at in that area, because it seems like we've looked at a lot of cases in that area, isn't it?
And Rory Campbell has the latest from Coolaroo. Rory, detectives have little to go on here.
There's still an active crime scene here tonight. Beck, forensic police remain working at this house here behind me. Police haven't offered up any intel about who this woman is, how old she might have been, when they think she died, or if they have a suspect. How she ended up in the bin, still very much a mystery. Beck.
Rory, thank you.
So I think you can rely on the fact that they will know who she is already. We're going to have a look at some other. I think you could think that they do know who she is already, but they've got to formally identify her, haven't they? They've got to let the family know. You know, there's so many things that they've got to do. Let me just come back to the chat and say hello to people. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Musical. Hi, Mia. Hi, Sephi. Hi, Kelly. I'm not sure if I said hello to Kelly or not. Okay, so let's have a look at this other video. So they're all more or less saying the same things, but just to give us perspective from another news channel.
Mystery surrounds the discovery of a woman's body dumped in a bin and found at a tip in Epping. As crime reporter Gillian Lantouris explains, detectives have used GPS and security footage from the garbage truck to hone in on a home in Coolaroo.
Despite police tape being removed, this homicide investigation...
I mean, they're going to catch this person. I do feel that they're going to catch them, but because it won't help this poor lady, you know, who's just been in the trash. Just so disrespectful. I think there are, that is a crime, isn't it? What do they call it? not disrespect of a corpse, but there's a name for it, isn't there, for that crime of not respecting a corpse, if you like. So, you know, hopefully that'll add on to the sentence. I can't remember what it's called. Somebody might be able to remind me. What do they call it? Not disrespect of a corpse, but anyway, something like that. So I'm sure, you know, whoever has done this is going to get that added on to their charges when they're finally caught. Maybe they've been arrested already, we don't know.
Is far from over.
Human to be, you know, killed and put in your own rubbish bin. She didn't deserve to die that way.
Police closed in on this Hillgate Street home in Coolaroo yesterday, believing...
Yeah, I think it might be abuse of a corpse, yeah. So, but it's definitely an extra offence, isn't it, when people do things like that. It's normally added on in America and the UK anyway, and I expect Australia is more or less the same.
This is where the yet-to-be formally identified woman's remains were dumped inside a green bin.
Because amazingly, from my experience,
that desecration, yeah, it could be that. I'm going to have a look in a minute. Oh, look, it's Charlie. We've not seen Charlie for a while. It's Charlie, is it Bizzini or something? He's an ex-detective, isn't he? Very well respected in Australia. He's having a little say about it.
Experience, the tip can tell you where a load of rubbish has come from through the truck, CCTV and the likes, and GPS on those trucks.
9 News understands the occupant is a middle-aged woman who only moved in about 8 weeks ago. The bin police believe contained her remains was then collected on Tuesday morning.
So a middle-aged woman who only moved in about 8 weeks ago. So has this been a domestic incident? Or has it been, you know, because it seems strange they were searching another house, wasn't it, as well? Is it a neighbour? You know, it could be a neighbour's dispute. There's a lot of things it could be, I suppose.
And discovered by workers at a rubbish tip in Epping the next day. Yesterday, police searched this home for evidence of foul play.
They've got to be clear, is this a homicide? And if it's natural causes, either someone may have panicked, put the deceased in the wheelie bin, and all the police may be looking for is the unlawful disposal of a body.
Forensics collected clippings from a tree at Julie and Darren's home down the road to match them to those found in the rubbish collected that day. Clues helping investigators link the victim to this street.
Really shocked when we found out, because as we said, this is very quiet around here.
Neighbours say the woman living at this home was quiet. She didn't drive a car, but there was often a man's silver vehicle parked in the driveway. Another resident says he saw a man taking out the bins in the lead up to the discovery.
So somebody saw the man taking out the bins. I mean, they probably have arrested him. I don't know. They must have some idea already who this is. But as far as I know, they haven't announced they've charged anyone with anything.
That will form part of the police's investigation. Gillian Lantouris, 9 News.
Yeah, so, gosh. You know, so this is another... you know, another woman. We've been, of course, because of the Samantha Murphy case, we had been, you know, following these cases of gender violence, haven't we, in the area, but like the video. And, you know, this sounds like another case of that, doesn't it? Let's just have a look at this one. Is this one?
Good afternoon. A woman's body has been found at a rubbish tip in Melbourne's north. Victoria Police launching a murder investigation as they set up a crime scene at a nearby property. Lana Murphy has more.
This home behind me has quickly become the centre of this mysterious homicide investigation after the body of a woman was discovered amongst green waste at a tip. Staff at the Epping Waste Management Facility made the grisly discovery on Wednesday, notifying police who'd spent the last 3 days trying to work out who she is and where she came from. Now it seems likely it was this home in nearby Coolaroo. Police believe the woman's remains were put in a bin that was picked up on Tuesday. The woman who lived here hasn't been heard from in 2 weeks. Neighbours say she moved in a few months ago and lived alone.
Terrible, you know, it's scary. Because actually this street is very safe, it's very quiet. Because most of the people here is old people.
People moved out
Then the lights are left burning for days, week on end. It's scary, but what can you do?
It's funny, isn't it? Because that quite often happens, that the neighbours come on and say, oh, this is really quiet area, nothing ever happens here. Like she said, they're mainly old people here. It just shows you just never know, things can happen anywhere. Who know, what happened in this case?
You know what happened?
Investigators are trying to work that out too. They used a locksmith to access the property, which has been a crime scene all day. Forensics have sifted through the remaining bins in the backyard, pulling out floor mats and a sheepskin rug. They also used the locksmith to access a second home in the same street. 9 News understands the owners travelled over.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Using a locksmith to access a second home in the same street. That sounds as if maybe it's to do with a neighbour, is it?
Seized a few weeks ago. The connection, if any, has not been disclosed by police. Detectives won't disclose whether they have any suspects or how they believe the woman died, but they are asking those who live in the area to check their home security or dashcam for any suspicious activity.
A teenage boy has died and another is...
So, this is where the investigation starts, isn't it? So they'll be going through phone data, CCTV, all those things that we've seen in every case that we cover, isn't it? The case starts when they need to access data, etc. And one way or another, this will all come out, like the identity of the woman. Somebody will be held accountable for this, whatever it is. I'm pretty sure of that by the sound of it. But yeah, I thought I would show it you. And we'll keep following this case. So this is a new case that we're going to be looking at. I think it's important, and prayers for that poor lady and her family. And what it'd be who did it like that? Who did it? Who would do that? I mean, that's I think the thing is, you always imagine, you hope, don't you, that especially in domestic situations, somebody would not deliberately murder someone, but things get out of control sometimes, don't they? Especially if someone is a bit abusive, and things can get out of control. People do things in the heat of the moment, and I'm not sort of justifying that. I'm just saying sometimes people do things in the heat of the moment, but they don't mean anything. They maybe didn't mean to kill that person. But then doing this afterwards, because the thing is, when that sort of thing happens, you have to own it, really. If you've murdered someone in the heat of the moment, whatever was going on, it could have been an argument, between the two, that the person could be an abuser and it could be their fault, or it could be an argument between two people and they're both giving as good as they can get, and either one can kill the other person, but then to do that, it's the disposing of the body afterwards like that and everything. You just, you've lost all sympathy, haven't you? Then any bit of sympathy you might have had, or any bit of understanding that everyone's human and people do stupid things in the heat of the moment. Once you do something like that, that's not the heat of the moment anymore, is it? That's like, oh God, just trying to save your own skin. It's got no respect for the victim. It's got no respect for the victim's family. That victim's family would be be wondering if she hadn't been found. They'd be thinking, where's she gone? Where's she disappeared to? Why is she not messaging? Maybe she's got kids. Maybe she's got grandkids. They said she was a middle-aged woman. I don't know what they mean by that. I'm probably an elderly woman, but I would imagine, you think of a middle-aged woman, would it be, I don't know, in her 50s or something like that? I don't know, whatever you would consider a middle-aged woman to be. They've sort of, that's a double crime, isn't it? It's bad enough that you've killed someone, maybe in the heat of the moment, maybe not a planned murder, but then to do what they've done with her body is just like, It's awful, isn't it? Awful. Just shows total disrespect, and any little tinge of sympathy you might have had with a person is gone. Hi, Heather. Okay, so I've got to go, but I'll be back at 12 o'clock Spanish time, 1 o'clock UK time. I'm not sure what time so that'll probably be about 8 o'clock Australia time. I will be back because we're going to have a look at Seth's YouTube channel and the live that he did. Seth Rogers, Sebastian Rogers' dad. We're going to have a look at that, and I'll see you then. And until then, may your God always go with you. See you later.